Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Anne and this is Postcards from My Golden Years. So today we're going to talk about planning travel. I used to be able to get these fantastic deals online and people have always asked me, how do you do it? Where do you go? Where do you look? I mean, one of my favorite stories that my husband loves telling people is that years ago, it was probably 3 years ago because it was before COVID, we wanted to go to Paris and I found a deal for $300 per person round trip to go to Paris, arriving on New Year's Eve, and then we stayed for the week following that. $300 round trip, almost unheard of. And nowadays, forget it. There's no way you're going to find that. But I have all kinds of little secrets on where I go to look for the best deals. Do I ever find anything at $300 round trip? Rarely are there deals like that when I want to go anyway, nowadays. So let me tell you one other thing about that $300 round trip ticket that just turned out fabulous. So we were at the airport getting ready to come home a week after New Year's, and this was American Airlines. They were looking for people to jump off. And so they were offering $1,000 voucher for future travel that was per person, plus lunch that day, plus dinner and a hotel room and breakfast the next day. So we jumped on it. So meanwhile, I had spent $300 on a round trip airline ticket per person. We've now gotten $1,000 airfare vouchers from American Airlines for future travel. And we got to stay in Paris another day, although we were staying at the airport hotel. So it's not like we got to drive back into downtown Paris and hang out for an evening. Nevertheless, it was worth it for that $1,000 voucher, which is another lesson. If you can take the time, take the voucher. We ran into people on that same voucher, on that same jump off. There was one woman there who is a French woman married to an American person with children, and she lives in the United States now, and she had gone home to see her family in France over Christmas without her husband and children because she couldn't afford to bring them. She told us that was her 11th day of taking jump offs at $1,000 vouchers per jump off. She worked online virtually, so she didn't have to go into an office. So every day she went back to the airport, and when they jumped or asked for people to jump off, she grabbed it. She needed enough vouchers to fly her entire family from the United States back to France so that they could make 2 more trips for that following year. So, that voucher situation, if you can get a $1,000 voucher and time allows, grab it. We then used those $1,000 vouchers later in the year to fly to Greece. We were going to a vacation in Santorini, and the $1,000 vouchers paid for the airfare. It's expensive to fly to Greece. So thankfully, the only thing we had to pick up when we went to Santorini was the cost of the ferry from Athens to Santorini and our hotels. But it was a great, great deal. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you've got the time and somebody's offering you a $1,000 voucher. So anyway, we are in the process, or actually I should say I'm in the process of booking our next vacation, which will take us to Paris, then Nice, Provence, back to Paris. And I booked some of it, but I do want to talk to you about where I went to book things, how I look for hotels, Airbnbs, how I decide on which places to book. I never use a travel agent. I will say that. I never use a travel agent. Years ago, before the internet, sure, if I wanted to go on a trip, the first place I would go is I'd take my money to Liberty Travel, which was a big travel agency company here in the U.S. I'd sit down and I'd say, okay, I got $1,000 for a long weekend. Tell me where I can go with my husband. As soon as there was a thing called the World Wide Web on the internet, I became one of the early explorers, and I taught myself how to search for things. And then I ended up taking an advanced class on internet search years ago, primarily to learn how to search for people. I was working as a consultant for headhunters and other corporations, searching for candidates for positions they wanted to fill. So I became an expert at searching on the internet, and I could find anything. So I have honed those skills over the years. I'm not searching for people anymore. I'm retired from my career in the field of human resources or anything related. And now I just make YouTube content for fun. So if you're not a subscriber, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. You know what? I need just under 400 more subscribers to reach my own personal goal of 1,000 subscribers. You can help me. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the first place I go whenever I need to shop for airline tickets is Google Flights. So it's just, you type in Google Flights in your Google search engine, or Chrome, whatever you use, and it brings you to this page. Now, you can use this whether you are flying within your country or whether you're flying internationally. So the first thing you're going to do is set the criteria. Now, you have a choice of round trip, one way, or multi-city. For our purposes, I am going to just use round trip. I am generally always booking travel for 2, but if you're only doing it for 1, then you'd leave that as a 1. Then you have a choice. Are you looking for economy tickets, premium economy, business, or first? Most people these days are looking for the least expensive airfare, so I'm going to leave it right here on economy. Now, just for hypothetical purposes, let's look for a trip so I can show you how I do it. So I'm probably closest to the Fort Myers, Florida airport, so I'm going to select that as my starting point. And then let's say one of my favorite places in the world to go is Paris, so let's put Paris in there. All right, now, before I even click the dates, if you slide down here, you can see already the system is telling me the cheapest flight round trip Fort Lauderdale right now is $1,755. Miami to Paris appears to be cheaper. So that tells me I probably want to change my starting point here, and let's go with Miami. Yes, it's a bit of a drive, but in the long run, it's going to be worth it. Now, I'm going to select Miami specifically, not Miami International Airport, not Fort Lauderdale, because these airports are very close to each other. And so the results may show me flight departures and arrivals to and from one of those airports. And that's close enough. If I have to go via Miami and fly back to Fort Lauderdale, it's just as easy to grab an Uber or a taxi to take me to where my car is. Okay, so I'm going to switch to, or click on Miami to Paris. Let's pick some dates. Now, before I even pick the dates, if you've got a flexible schedule or you're looking for a good, inexpensive time, relatively, because nothing's inexpensive these days, but relatively inexpensive, then you start looking before you click on the dates. And you see the little numbers that are under each date? that tells you the best airfare that Google is finding right now for a round trip airline ticket. So that's telling you, for example, right here in the month of June, looks like the 12th is a very well, comparatively, I don't want to say very inexpensive because that's pretty high, but that looks to be the least expensive day to fly right now. But let's say we want to fly sometime in July. So we'll come up here to July. Okay, it doesn't want to move. Okay, here we go, July. So now I'm looking in the month of July to see if there are any inexpensive flights in July. Nope, I'm not seeing anything inexpensive. Let's go to August. Okay, do I see anything great in August? No. Wow. Let's try September. Okay, here we go. This is about the least expensive I'm seeing right now. September 24th. So let's pick a departure of September 24th. And let's say that I want to stay there for a week. So the next inexpensive day to fly is Friday the 30th. So I'm going to pick those dates. That's Friday, September 24th to September 30th. And I'm going to click done. Okay, now the system is going to find me all of the flights. Now it's telling me the best departing flights, particularly the one that I was interested in for 1082 is right here. So I'm going to click on the arrow to see what that does or how that comes out with that price. And we see that we're flying from Miami in the afternoon to Dulles Airport. We get there close to 4 o'clock. We've got an hour and a half layover in Dulles. And then at 5:15, we're going to take our plane to Europe. And we're going to land, first stop is Copenhagen. So we get to Copenhagen. There's a 5-hour, 5-minute layover, which ideally is not so great. However, I prefer to have a layover that is way too long as opposed to way too short, because your very first point in Europe where you're going to be arriving is Copenhagen, and you don't know whether your flight from Dulles to Copenhagen is going to be on time, arrive late. You need to allow enough time to go through immigration and customs at that airport. You don't know how long the lines are going to be. You don't know what else is going on in Copenhagen at the time. So while 5 hours and 5 minutes sounds like a long time, ideally you'd probably want 2.5, 3 hours at most. It's not the worst thing. So you have time to get off the plane, go through customs, go through immigration, get your luggage, and then go through security again. And your next flight takes off 12:20, and you arrive in Paris at 2:10 p.m. the next day. So obviously, the reason that this flight is inexpensive compared to the others, that is because you've got 2 stopovers. And I forgot to mention that when you get to Dulles, you've got an 8-hour layover. Basically, you get there at 5:15 in the evening, and your flight to Copenhagen doesn't take off till 7:15 the next morning. So that is a reason why that price happens to be one of the lowest we've found. Okay, so let's take a look at another one, and let's see how attractive that is. This one only has 1 stop, as you can see. All right, this one goes from Miami to Istanbul Airport. And then you have a 1 hour and 5-minute layover. Okay, this makes me nervous right away because, again, you don't know if your flight's going to be on time. I've never flown Istanbul Airlines, so I have no idea I'm sorry, I've never flown Turkish Airlines, so I have no idea what their record is on departures and arrivals and the history on whether they're late or not. I don't like 1 hour and 5 minute layover because if that plane is late getting to Istanbul airport, you may not have time to go through customs, immigration, grab your baggage, and then go through security to be on the plane, the next plane that leaves at 7 a.m. So that one I would rule out just based on that. All right, now we have TAP Air Portugal, also only has one stop, but look at the price, $1,706 round trip. Okay, so here, if you look at this, at 4:25 you get to Miami Airport and you arrive in Portugal at Humberto Delgado Airport in Lisbon. It takes 8 hours and 10 minutes. Then you have a 2 hour, 5 minute layover in Lisbon. This one, I would be fine with this. I think I've never been to Lisbon, but I really feel like this would probably give you enough time to get through customs, immigration, get your luggage, and get back to the gate so that you can fly at 7:40 a.m. and get to Orly Airport in Paris. So at the moment, that probably would be the one that I would favor. Okay, now we've got another flight. This is 1358. This has one stop. I'm not familiar with Air Transat. Let's take a look at that. Okay, I guess maybe that's a Canadian airline. So that one leaves Fort Lauderdale, 3 hours and 25-minute flight to Montreal. And then you have a 22-hour, 25-minute layover. Because you're getting to Montreal in the evening at 8:55. So this one, you're going to have to find a hotel room or sleep in the airport. Ideally, you want to get in a hotel room because this flight is not taking off till 7:20 the next day. But it's a shorter flight, 6 hours and 50 minutes. So this one's a possibility, but you've got the added cost of a hotel room unless you want to sleep in an uncomfortable chair in the airport. Okay, so we see all of these other flights here. Now, once I have selected which airline I like, I sort of just keep that screen open, just sort of banking it, I want to say for the memory, but we're going to keep the screen open and go someplace else. The next place I'm going to check is kayak.com. So kayak.com, we're going to click on flights, and we're going to go to 2 adults. Actually, this one gives you an option for seniors. I would check the seniors because we're over 65. Just in case, you never know. Some airlines actually have senior tickets. I haven't come across one yet, but who knows? It's always a first time. Okay, now I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to go from, let's go from Miami because I remember that the other website, Google, said that the best flights are from Miami. So I'm going to go from Miami and we're going to go to Paris, France. And again, I'm going to select the one that says all airports because I don't care which one I land in. Okay, now we're going to pick that hypothetical date of August 20. This does not give you, I'm sorry, the hypothetical date of September 24th to the 30th. This one doesn't give you the prices up front like Google does. That's one of the benefits of using Google first, so you can get an idea of, do I even want to attempt to fly this time? Do I want to spend $2,000 on airfare? Possibly. So we're going to click here, and now Kayak is going to start loading all the flights. Okay, now if I don't want to see one stop, or layovers over 9 hours. I could click hide one stop. You don't want to see layovers longer than 9 hours. And wow, this is the best I'm going to find non-stop on this website, Air France. So that does not excite me. So now I'm going to unclick hiding one stop because I want to see more, and I want to unclick nonstop only because I want to see more flights. Now I'm starting to think, well, I'd consider one stop maybe. So I'm going to unclick layovers. All right, now it's starting to populate more flights. Okay, so here got 2 flights headed out. One leaves at 4:25 p.m. and goes through Lisbon. Well, they both go through Lisbon at 846 a person, 1,692 total. Well, now this looks attractive. And so I'm going to click, I'm going to click this one that leaves at 7:40 a.m. and click View Deal. All right, now, airline tickets prices change minute to minute, and the prices that we first see don't always include taxes. So here it's giving me the flight. It leaves at 16:25, so that's 3:25 in the afternoon, and it gets to Paris at 11:05 the next day. That's probably morning. And you have that one stop in Lisbon. And then coming back here is a return flight. So it's showing a standard ticket at $845.99 or a flexible ticket. Typically that means that you can make changes. That's what it's showing there. So that's the best one I'm going to find there. And again, I'm just going to set that aside now. I'm going to go to another website. Now I'm going to go to justfly.com. And I'm going to go Miami, going to Paris, all airports, departing on September 24th, returning September 30th. And we've got 2 passengers. So now we're going to see what Just Fly comes up with. And Just Fly is showing me flights at 7:85 with, well, this is even better. Look at that. Air Transat. That one's through Montreal. It's $680.77. And you can see that it's got a 22-hour, 25-minute layover in Montreal. We saw that before. So again, you've got to be prepared for that kind of a layover. And then it picks up and gets you to Paris at 9:40 a.m. And wait a minute. I lost my flight. There it is. Okay. So it gets you to Paris at 8:10 a.m. And then there's another one going home. It shows you the flight leaves at 12:20 in the afternoon, and you get back after a 22-hour, 40-minute layover in Montreal again at 4:15 the next day. So if that's something you're interested in, something to consider. So I'm going to leave that website right there. Okay, the next one I'm going to go to is Momondo. And I'm going to look at flights here. Let's do Miami to Paris. And it picked up what I was looking for on the other sites magically. And now we'll click this. And it will see what it can find out there. I have found great luck on this Momondo site, incidentally. Somehow Momondo's search engines go out there and find things I don't always see on other sites. So I would say my first choices are justfly.com and Momondo. All right, here we go. First thing, this is $536 per person. Scandinavian Airlines. To look at the deal, click through and it'll take you to where it found that price. It's on a website called edreams.net. And now it's loading the trip. Okay, so there is the price. And we see that it's got 2 stops. And that includes 1 small bag. It does not include luggage. So, let's see. Looks like it's actually including 2 bags. So 1 per person. All right. Let's select and see what it shows us. It wants us to book. Okay, well, I'm not ready to book, but there's the price per person. There is the total price it's going to cost, including taxes and service charges. So clearly, at the moment, as long as I don't mind doing the Scandinavian airline flight, I can get that kind of price per person. That's including tax and service charges. So let's see, did I check every place? The one last place that I want to check is cheaptickets.com. Cheaptickets.com will mix lines. Now I'm going to pick Miami, and then I'm going to go, whoops, wrong one. Leaving from Miami, all airports, going to Paris, all airports, departing on September 24th, returning on the 30th, done, and click search. Now they will mix and match airlines so that you don't have to stay with just one airline. The advantage of doing this is sometimes you can get a good price because the search engine on cheap tickets will find you the cheapest flight going and the cheapest flight coming back and combine them into one package for you. So let's see what it's coming up with for me. All right, it's not, whoops, I didn't put, let me get to 2 travelers. Research that. Searching again. Sleep. Okay, here we go. So right now, it isn't showing me that flight that we found on the other site. And what was that other site that was on eDreams? that we found on, where did we find that? We found that on Momondo. So if I wanted to book that flight on eDreams at this point, if that's the best price I can find, I would go back and book it and move on. Okay, now let's say that I don't want to buy my airline ticket through eDreams. And the first thing I want to do is go to Scandinavian Airlines and see what the price would be on their website. First, I want to get the flight numbers. And let me see if I'm going to get them from eDreams. Pull that up again. Get rid of that. Okay, what do we have here? There we go. Scandinavian Airlines. That's SK6765. That's my departure flight. And on the return, it's SK580. So, see, this is where I'm pulling it from, there and there. So, now I want to go to Scandinavian Airlines website, which is flysas.com. Accept all the cookies. Now I want to search there. And I am going to pick from Miami to Paris. Okay, and we're going to pick our departure date. And return. Outbound. There's outbound 24. Return on the 30th. Okay, we've got 2 travelers. And we're going to click search because I want to see what it costs if I go directly to the SAS website. Often you'll find a better rate with a SAS website than you will if you book it through a third-party website like eDreams. Not all the time. Sometimes the eDreams and other sites can get better deals. Okay, so here we have this flight. This includes 1 carry-on, 1 checked baggage. It's non-refundable. Okay, so that is my choice there. And let me just go 1 flight up. Now that stops in Newark, New Jersey. So that goes from Miami to Newark, New Jersey. And then it stops in Oslo, and then it gets to Paris. That's the best deal they are offering there. But just for fun, let's click on that one. And now on the return flight, here's another inexpensive. Let's go with this one. Wow, this one has 3 stops coming home. Yeah, let's see what we're doing coming home. Okay, it still includes 1 carry-on, 1 check bag. All right, so we've got them. Now we've got, this is the total price for 2 people, $14.74. Sure beats what we found on the other sites. Okay, and we want to view the trip, show details. Okay, look at all those taxes. $488.37 in taxes. The flight itself is $219. All right, so then we hit continue. It wants names, and I'm not ready. I don't want to book anything here. Okay, so that's where we are, going directly to this site. So My best suggestion is look on the third-party sites that I suggested before: Momondo, Just Fly, Cheap Tickets, Kayak, Google Flights. See what the best price you can find is, and then when you find the best price, go to the airline offering that and see what you can find on their airline. And so that's basically what I do to find a great flight. Now, let's say I've got plenty of time to book a vacation and it doesn't have to be on any particular day. If I don't like these flights, I just close it all up and I say, all right, I'll check back tomorrow. Because as I mentioned, airline ticket prices change minute to minute. I'll bet that if I closed out all these screens and pulled them up in a half hour, I'd probably get different flights for the most part. Different flights, maybe a little variation of price. Maybe this really good one from eDreams won't show up. You never know. But I would make a note of all of those websites that I selected. Okay, now there is one other option if you are not tied to a schedule and you're open to traveling to different places, and that is scottscheapflights.com. And the way this works is you sign up to receive his newsletters. Now, if you just sign up and don't want to pay, periodically you'll get a newsletter every now and then that just lets you know what wild prices his people have found on the internet. And their search engines go out and they find accidental flight prices. Like there could be a flight to Australia accidentally posted for, now I'm just pulling this number out of the air, it could be posted for $100 round trip. And if you are fast enough and you go and book it, there is a good chance you'll get that flight for $100 round trip. I have heard of some cases where people booked it and then the airline found out about the accidental fare and contacted them almost within minutes after the booking to say that it was an accidental fare. But there have been a lot of people who have taken advantage of these accidental fares that pop up on his newsletters. And if you move fast, you can actually get some great deals. But it's a very opportunistic site. So you sign up to be a member. And the best deal is if you sign up to get a paid membership. And there are two different ways to join. You can either join for $49 a year and get information on their economy price deals. Let me type in Paris and just see what I come up with here. Or you can sign up for an elite membership, which is $199 a year, and that will tell you about deals that they find for first class, business class, or premium economy flights. Now, the way it works is if you're a paid member, as soon as they spot these really great deals, they send you an email. You really have to be on top of your email constantly. Once you get these, you have to jump on it, go to wherever the website is where they spotted this really cheap fare, and be able to book it. I found that it wasn't worth it for me because since my husband is still working, he has only so many vacation days a year. And for the most part, we have a good sense of where we want to travel to. And in addition, when you join the Scott's Cheap Flights group, club, whatever, you tell them what the nearest airports are to you. And in my experience, very few of their deals were available from the closest airline to me, which was Fort Myers, Florida, Miami, Florida, or Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They tended to be from other parts of the country. So I felt that I didn't really get my money's worth, and I also didn't have the ability to travel anywhere in the world anytime. So it's great if you're retired and you're just looking for places to go away and you're just looking for deals, and when you spot a deal, you're ready and willing to book it. That's when Scott's Cheap Flights are great. I joined for a year, and in that year I kept looking out for places that my husband and I wanted to travel to, and in that entire year I never got any emails telling me about great deals going to any place we wanted to go to. So there are good things and bad things for Scott's Cheap Flights. Like I said, if you're retired and flexible, it's worth the $49, especially if you can get some flight deals that are almost a steal. So keep that in mind. So thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.